back and use that parietal bone as your guideline. Most haircuts are all about guidelines, understanding the shape of the head and following your guidelines. You have your traveling guidelines and then you have your stationary guidelines. So the parietal bone in this case would be a stationary guideline for any of these exclusive haircuts. So hold your head back for me some more time. As you notice, I can do this haircut without even looking at it from the front because I already know the shape of his head. This is my son, so I've been cutting his hair since he was born. But you may have a client who you don't know him. They may be a brand new client or somebody you just started cutting, so you may have to go back to the front and kind of look at it from different angles. But I know kind of where I'm going with this haircut because I've done it so many times. Hold your head back for me a little bit, son. As you can see, it's starting to take its shape. Lightly trim. You want to light trim it. You just want to keep as much height as you can. Remember that. So I think that's pretty good. So let's swing it around a little bit so you guys can see what I did there. See what I did there. Take it a little bit more up top. I always recommend that you finish off with your shears. So that's that. We've just faded. We just blended the whole top of the hair or shaped it. We're gonna come back and finish off with the shears, but I'm gonna get into a few more master techniques. Now remember, I said we're fading this haircut from the top down, right? So going back to that parietal bone, you can take your 1/4 guard and go from that parietal bone straight down, and you're almost not gonna mess up the haircut at all, mess up the blend at all. It's gonna be a smooth transition from the top into the bottom. The 1/4 guard, I tell my clients and my students that the 1/4 guard will save your life when you get into any coarse hair, any curly hair, ethnic hair, if you want to call it whatever they call it at your school or your institution, but coarse hair, curly hair, man. We're dealing with thick hair, and that 1/4 guard will kind of blend a whole lot of it to a reasonable length. Now we went back and we put the 1/4 guard on our adjustable clippers, and we've come down with it. So mind you, we're blending from top down. So that same 1/4 guard will blend that top into the side a little bit smoothly. Give us what we want. Make this brother look super fresh and fly. Hold your head up a little bit, King. Oh my God. So that's the 1/4 guard. Now mind you, like I said, from that parietal bone, that's a very pivotal point of the haircut. A lot of rookie barbers, they get the haircuts mixed up and confused and kind of don't know what to do when they get to this area. This is one of the most important areas when you're getting into blending these high top or high elevated haircuts. Anything with high height on it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take that 1/4. Now you can take the 1/4 and we're gonna go back. Mind you, I said we're blending from the top down. Take that 1/4 and we're gonna go from the bottom and just blend right up to that same 1/4. You can kind of blend the heavier areas in with that 1/4 up to the parietal bone again. Here we are. Yeah, straight for me. So taking that 1/4, we're just smoothing everything out just so it transitions into the height of the haircut the right way. Any dark marks, any lines of demarcation or too much weight, we can, what we call, notch those areas out with just the corner of the clipper. The bottom of the clipper in, top of the clipper out. Go in there and blend some of those heavier areas with that same 1/4 guard. The 1/4 guard will save you in any high top situation, any mohawk situation. It'll save you in a lot of your afros, your curly afros, your tapered afros. It'll save you in those haircuts as well. So So look, 1/4 all the way up to the parietal. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Basically, I'm almost done. This haircut has taken maybe 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes so far. And I can almost tell you that I'm done with this haircut already. That same 1/4, we go right back up to the parietal. We smoothed it down with the 1/4, and you can also blend it, smoothing it up. And then you go up into the heightened areas of that haircut, and you just notch it with the bottom of the clippers in, the top of it out. This is called notching. You want to use a couple of the teeth of the guard to go in and blend. You may use this, I'll say the bottom 4 teeth of the guard in the clipper to go in and blend. So this is called notching. Stylists notch with their shears. Barbers, we can notch with our clippers. Hold your head up for me, son. Smooth that same parietal area out with the 1/4. Notice that I keep the 1/4 guard on an angle and I don't go into the top of the haircut. I'm blending from the top going down. So I can smooth everything going downward with that same 1/4 guard. That'll give me what I want. Boom. So that's that. So now we've almost have a completed haircut. So now we're gonna get into a couple of the next level burst fade techniques, and this haircut is basically done. I can take my adjustable clippers, go back in and smooth it out a little bit more, because a lot of it is just smoothing and making sure the haircut fits the head, and it fits the head by, of course, riding along those parietal bones, those 2 bones that gives a person a block head or box head or not. So these parietal bones are kind of prominent on all my kids. All my children have that box-shaped head like their dad. So we're gonna get to the burst fade. Now most times with the burst fades come off of the ear and burst outward. Anytime you're shaping or blending a round object, put your head to the side for me, you wanna start at a 0 point and burst out. So in this case, since the head is round, I made it a thing to burst from the ear on out and have no lining around the ear. That's the Fly Barber Life, Eddie B, Master Barber way of doing things. So no line around the ear, and we burst from the ear on out. So look, set my first guideline. I close my adjustable clippers all the way. I close them all the way to give us that first 0 at the bottom, or triple 0. And then from there, I open the clipper up, and I may go up and create my next guideline with what I call which is a 1. The clipper all the way open, the adjustables all the way open, give you a 1. So we go from the triple out to the 1. And then the lines in the middle between the triple out all the way closed and all the way open, it's probably an OA in the middle. So we're gonna go to the OA in the middle and blend that bottom line out. So boom, we blended that one out. So now we take our smallest guard, which may be a 1/16. In this case, I use the 1/8 because right after the 1/4 is the 1/8. So it just makes perfect mathematical sense to go to the next guard down, which is this is called the skip guard technique. From your 1/8 to your from your 1/4 to your 1/8. So we can take that 1/8 and start to blend the line out that we've created with our 1. And the 1/8 all the way open. As we go upward into the parietal area, we open our guard up because we want to take off less hair. More closed at the bottom, more open as we go up, because we want to take off less hair as we get closer to that parietal bone. So this time we're going to blend with our 1/8 all the way open. You see weight lines in there. You can see the haircut starts to blend and fall in place once you knock a few of those weight lines out that are taken away from our overall blend. So tilt your head to the side for one last time, son. And we're almost done with this. So we're taking this, and notice that we kept the whip on the haircut a little dark, the box here dark, because that's going to accentuate the haircut at the end when we give it our hairline. So I recommend sometimes leaving that area a little bit darker. And it's all about the client too, the client's preference, but most of my clients like the way I do things, so we're going to do it the Fly Barber way this time. Keep it a little dark there, use our 1/8 to blend up. And as I go up, notice that I'll knock off a little hair at a time. You got to keep your head to the side for me, son. Keep it back there. So that's basically blended. We're going to take the 1/8 and we're going to just smooth it on out because we're zooming into this haircut on a 3D note. getting deep down into it with our eyes. And then we're looking at that haircut, it's falling right into place. Notice that I'm doing a technique that I call what? Notching. We're notching as we go into the height of this haircut with the 1/8, because the 1/8 is smaller than the 1/4. We notch more. Notch just a few teeth of the blade and the clipper and the guard. Just a few teeth go into the hair, and we just let the clippers and guard do this work. Let the haircut fall into place, so that we are, as we can see, this haircut is falling right into place the way we want it to. A lot of this, what I'm doing here, is just smoothing it out. It's not really cutting, I'm just kind of combing it through with the guard, because the guard is an attachment comb, so you can kind of comb through it if you know how to maneuver and manipulate and angle your clippers the right way. So this to the side, we're basically done with that burst fade there. Now we're gonna go back and take our 1/16 guard and kind of clean up the bottom. Bam. So then we go back and we can throw in our hairline. I recommend guys line one side, get one side of the haircut finished first, then go back and do the other side. You can make the other side match the one side that you've already completed. And that way you can kind of show off to the clients and the people in the barbershop and show them that you can cut. Show off your haircut a little bit. Sit your head to the side, son. Yeah. Close your eyes for me, please. Thank you. My God. Still from the belly. When we take our liners, you can go in there and kind of knock out a little bit of the weight. If you're careful enough and you have the eyes good enough to kind of see some of the microscopic weight lines that are in there, then you can get in there with your liners and kind of notch it out, and that makes the haircut fall even more. And remember, I said with my burst fades, I don't edge behind the ear. I have the haircut burst from the ear, so a lot of my balding comes around the ear. Yeah, okay. See, to finish this edge up on the side, and this haircut is almost finished. Still for me, son. Be very still for me, my guy. Close your eyes for me. Be still for me, son. Don't move. Now notice what he just did. He laid his head all the way back. That's not a bad thing for your client to lay back, get comfortable in the chair, especially when they're young, because that helps them with not moving as much. You know, the smaller they are, the more they can move in the chair. Go around big and get the other side, and then come back to them. Pick your head up. Pick your head up for me, son. Pick your head up, son. There we go. Thank you, my guy. Hang on, you be a big. Keep your head up for me, guy. Be a big boy. Put up for me, buddy. All right, cut it, baby. Cut it for a second.